How far has this administration gone with that?
Alfred, first of all, I think that there's a need for us all to fairly commend the organizers of yesterday's event. It was very well put together. The outlook was different from the talk shops that we have had in the past, where money sometimes, got expended for nothing. I mean, I recall back in the day where we went to regions, and to traditional authorities, organized big seminars and events that cost so much money. You recall that I even at a point shared some of the, amounts that were spent in organizing fora on Galamsey and how to deal with it. I remember at one point about 1.8 million Ghana cedis was spent on one event, and we had these events across the regions. In the end, I mean, we didn't get anything. But yesterday's event was simple. It was simple. I mean, and it was not, outside. It was not at like a hotel where you had to, or the conference center where you had. It was simple to the extent that it was for me like a classroom. And then you had the president like the classroom teacher and saying, look, we have this topic to discuss. It wasn't like a lecture. It was like, the kind of lecturer who comes to the classroom and says, we are going to discuss this topic. That was the outlook I saw, and I thought that it was beautiful. It gave, the opportunity for everybody to freely express themselves when they were called. Not everybody had the time, though, because of, the time limitation that we had. But I think that the organizers really, really did a good job by the way it was put together. It brought all the different shades and different thoughts, together. And the presenters did a fantastic job, from the Minister of Lands and Natural Resources to the NIMOs and to the EPA. They all did a brilliant, presentation, up-to-date state of affairs as far as the government is concerned. And so I need to begin by commending those who put this event together and those who, did the presentations yesterday. And the questions that came out, then that is where I think that it's also very important that we commend CSOs like Darrell and Co. They have been very consistent on this matter. And it is admirable, the energy and the time that they spend on this, as if, their lives and livelihood depends on it. It's admirable. Yeah. I must admit.
Does, because so Galamsey gets worse. We are out there.
I know, but so I agree with you that their livelihood, all of us, our lives actually depend on it. So I think that it is important that we commend them too for the consistency. And His Excellency the President, I am sure, was very grateful, and he remains grateful. I think yesterday, even after the event, if you go and read the post that he shared on his social media handles, he is asking for the pressure to be mounted on him. He says, keep me on my toes. I want us all to succeed. So as I commend them, I will reiterate the president's words that you must not, give up. You must not relent in your efforts as members of CSO, determined to support government and to put government on its toes to achieve the results that will save all of us, that will save even the generations that are yet to be born. But you see, in this conversation and in this fight, we must guard against, victories that don't add to anything. Victories, the lawyers call it, what do you call it? Something victory. Fleeting victory, something. You use a word.
Yeah, fiery.
Yes, a pari victory. Yes. I mean, we should guard against victories that impact nothing.
Okay.
And big declarations that don't mean much. Right. We should be focused on the deliverables that will really, really transform the current situation. It's not about whether I asked for a state of emergency and it has been declared. No. That shouldn't be about it. It shouldn't be about, I want a president to declare that he's put his lives on the line. Or his presidency on the line. We have heard that before. We have heard all those big declarations before. We have, and what happened? So we should guard against, victories, like I said, that will not impact anything. Okay, we have won. We have succeeded in getting the president to declare a state of emergency. And then what? But we should be looking at the measurables. We should be looking at the commitment to getting results that are, indeed meaningful to all of us. Look, yesterday when I was listening to it, a number of things came up. We all know that some of the problems we have had in the fight are largely legal. So the Attorney General was on standby to tell us some of the challenges and also some of the approach that he is adopting with the government to deal with those challenges. So, for example, the challenge of, detention and the 48-hour problem. He says, that is a problem. This is how we are dealing with it. And that's not a promise. That's actually, part of the process of addressing the issue. It's not a promise. And so it shouldn't frustrate you. It should perhaps let you want to follow through and see how is he really resolving this problem. Then the issue of tribunals that he promised, that we are going to, that one is a promise. But he has also given an indication of how much work has been done so far. I think we should get closer and see how much work has been done so far and how much work is left to be done for the tribunals to really see the light of day. Because he says, I am working on the tribunals to ensure that we fast-track some of the trials involving, people engaged in Galamsey. Then the legal reviews that were required. He also talked about it, and he agrees. And that's, again, something that must, encourage all of us. It is not as if the government disagrees that there should be a legislative review. The government agrees and assures that when Parliament resumes, LI 2462 will definitely be repealed. And in its place will be a new law. And he says, and we all know that in this country, it is the Attorney General and the Minister of Justice that monitors, the passage of these LIs and acts and also monitors the numbering. So he says, look, we are working, and when they start working LIs, when they start working on LIs at the AG office, they assign numbers to it. Even acts, they are assigned to it. But it is after the process. If that number is still going to be maintained, it is maintained. Sometimes it gets changed because some other legislations would have gotten passed before it. But it tells you the commitment that, look, we are going to pass it. We have drafted it. We are waiting for Parliament to come. And when Parliament resumes, we'll lay it. And after 21 days, it becomes law. And so let us wait. When Parliament returns, and then it is not laid for the days to start counting, then the president's invitation for you to put pressure on him is reactivated. Yeah. So I saw that, again, there is that commitment to prosecute, because the Attorney General told you how it was at first difficult to get, information on Akonta mines, and now the docket available, and his determination to ensure that by Monday, he files charges against, the kingpin. And here we are talking about the kingpins again. That is also living the promise of ensuring that we do not just focus on the people on the pits, but those who are funding and financing it. That's a big, to tell you that we are going to begin prosecution of, a company like Akonta Mining by Monday is no longer a promise of dealing with the kingpins. It's an initiation of the promise of dealing with the kingpins. And it has to be seen in that light. Yes, he's not the only one, and one is not enough, but let us go on. That is the beginning. Let us go on to ensure that we get more of these people to face the law. I was encouraged by that. And then again, he talks about, even reporting party members for investigation. And that tells you the level of political commitment that we have, where colleagues are even willing to submit each other to, investigative bodies to either clear them. In fact, maybe some of you didn't even know that after the referral to the investigative body, a petition also came from the small scale miners. But he mentioned it yesterday. Yeah. That for me was additional information that, look, we even got a petition and we have forwarded that we are working with that petition also. Even though our colleagues are involved, we are not going to sweep this under the carpet. So that legal, framework in the fight was properly handled by the Attorney General. And I think that any fair-minded person should see the political commitment and the will and the desire to ensure that some of the bottlenecks when it comes to the legal issues are dealt with. Yes, we are 9 months in office. We will not be able to do all the things that have to be done in that field. But they say in Dagbani that, forgive my use of the term, Martin understands. I mean, to it is at the initiation stage that you know if something will develop into a hernia. You know, I don't want to go into that. but you see, so it is in this, or as it is often said, that it is from the look of the chicken that you know that it will go into a cock or something. Yeah, but that for me is something that we should not gloss over. Then the security concern also. So the legal aspect is there. Then you also have the security aspect, and NIMOS actually has given us, reason to believe that this time around the fight will be more deadly, even without the declaration of a state of emergency. I mean, they have given us that indication. And apart from that indication, which you can term a promise, they have also given us evidence of their determination by how they have so far recovered about 7 forest reserves, right? Or nine forest reserves.
They were taken, then they went back. So 11 attempts.
They have taken 9 forest reserves back. That should tell you. I mean, that's progress. I mean, if before 9 months ago, we could not enter 9 forest reserves in this country. That's dangerous. I mean, that's just like, a rebel group taking over a section of this country. And so to tell you that within 9 months, we have recovered these forests is not a promise. It is actually action-driven. I mean, it is results-driven by action. And it must be appreciated and supported. So they have taken back these forest reserves, and they have given the indication that it is going to be deadlier this time around. And they're on the ground, actually, destroying these machines where, like he said, in situ, when they cannot, take it out. And they have the political support. His Excellency, the President says, look, even when they come and, advise him to declare a state of emergency, he will be willing to declare a state of emergency. And again, I mean, you have the man standing in front of the Commander-in-Chief of the Ghana Armed Forces and everybody and saying that, look, we are coming after everybody. It doesn't matter who you are. So when he comes to your side, who again are you going to call? Which minister are you going to call? Or which president are you going to call to ask him to stop, what he's doing, like we used to experience in the past? So I think that the security aspect also, we are assured that, the fight is going to be thorough, and it has started. I was happy the last time the president met the media persons. He spoke on the IGP team and how it has been put together with the NIMOS team. And I think that was a very good decision, because you see, when you have parallel structures, especially armed and out there, you may not know what it can lead to, especially collision causes can happen. There may even be collusion and collusion at the same time can happen. So but where you have one central body with one control, center, then you know who to hold responsible when things go awry. But where you have different groups fighting at different angles, receiving their command from different places, you can get into issues of collision and collusion. And I think that it is good that they have put them together now. Then there's also the administrative bit of it. I mean, when I was listening to it, these were the structures I saw: the legal problems, the security issues, and then the administrative issue. And the administrative issue relates to the importation of excavators and how they are cleared, how they are tracked. And Tato, you see, made a very important suggestion, but clouded by, the political point scoring of, let's win by calling for a state of emergency. He misses the very good point that he makes. That, look, we can even go beyond tracking these excavators to tracking it to their owners and tracking it to their assets, including their bank accounts, and freezing it. I agree that it is a good suggestion that we can, that should be taken on board. But that is an administrative role of the Ministry of Transport and the Ministry of Lands and Natural Resources and Yoko, and then the ports all together. And clearly, we have also seen, again, that is not a promise, that action is being taken to streamline and if you like, clarify the process of importing an excavator and also monitoring the usage of excavators in this country. It is clear that it is not a promise. It is actually something that is being carried out today. And these excavators are not just going to be licensed, they are going to also be geofence, as we are told. And in some cases, some of them have already been geofenced. They have been tracked and they are put out there and they have been monitored. You know, so it is not a promise, it's actually something that is also on the ground. The blue water guards are people that are on the ground, also serving their purpose. Yes, they are just at about 1,000, and we need more of them to be trained to ensure that they provide the services that they are providing. The licensing regime. I mean, we know that currently there is no license for anybody to mine in a forest reserve.